What's up, guys? Tone Loke here for Downward Thrust, doing a little bit of a Battlefront 2 assessment. Now, I have played Battlefront 2, the beta, for about 12 hours now. I got kind of addicted at one point, and I kind of just played all night. I am currently level 10, which is the max you can get in the beta, and I want to share my thoughts on the beta, the pros, the cons, and some of the problem areas associated with this particular game. Let me just first say that this is not going to be a trashing of Battlefront 2. I actually think this is going to be a pretty good game. However, there is one Achilles heel that I cannot stand and I could not get behind, and that is the progression, which is tied to the loot boxes. So come with me, and I will show you what I mean by that. So in Star Wars Battlefront 2, you can open the crates, or the loot boxes as many people call them, and once you do, you get a nice little animation, a little Star Warsy animation, and the thing explodes, and here comes your rewards. Now check it out, let's see what I got here. A trip mine, that is a star card for, it looks like the sniper class. I also got crafting parts. This is very important. I'm going to get back to crafting in a second. And then I have a golden reward. This is another star card called Assault Training. A rare gold star card. Gain a small amount of health for each defeated enemy. Now, why the hell am I showing you this? You probably already know all about the loot boxes. Well, for those who have not played the game, let me explain a few things. So when you go into a game of Star Wars Battlefront 2, you play through a match, and you earn what are called credits. Now, these credits go towards buying loot boxes, and you can buy loot boxes depending on how many credits you have, obviously. But you can also buy loot boxes with real friggin' money, Yankee greenbacks or whatever your local currency is. You drop some G's and you get some more credits. You buy more loot boxes with said money, and then you get more rewards. That's kind of how it works. Now, obviously, that would be totally fine if the loot boxes just had, cosmetic gifts and rewards, and it didn't really affect the progression. However, everything in terms of progression is affected by loot boxes. So if we go into our collection here, this is basically where you can see all of your classes and then what star cards you have and dumb emotes and dumb victory poses. Why EA continues to put this crap in here is beyond me. But anyway, so in this section right here, the star card section, you will get new star cards in loot boxes, and you will only get new star cards in loot boxes. So, like in other games, you may play the game over the course of a few days, and you'll unlock weapons, gear, all sorts of new goodies and gifts throughout the course of that journey. Well, you don't do that in Battlefront 2. When a match ends, you get a certain amount of credits. The problem comes in the fact that these credits are not tied to your performance in the game. Every single person on your team gets the same amount of credits. Now, how are the credits dictated? Match length, as far as I can tell. So the longer the match draws out, the more credits everybody gets. Now, the team that actually wins gets obviously more credits, but it's like a static allotment. So everyone gets the same, and it's all derivative on time. So the longer the match, the more credits you get. So if you do really, really well and you get like 50 kills and you're like the all-star of the team, you would think you get some, more credits than the person that's just sitting in the back sniping, not really doing anything with the objective, not really helping the team, right? Not so much. Everybody gets the same amount of credits. Why is that? I'm not sure. So you continue to play matches and you continue to get credits, and then you open loot boxes. And since you don't get new guns and new rewards via a traditional progression system, you have to get them in loot boxes. So either you play a bunch of matches, which, by the way, it doesn't really matter if you do good or bad, because you're going to get the same amount of credits as everyone else on your team. By the way, it also incentivizes this credit system. It incentivizes like the defensive teams to not play the game properly. If you think about it, if you're on defense in a map like Naboo, for instance, you want to make sure to oppress the attackers as much as you can and stop the MTI from blowing up the Citadel or whatever it is. Well, if you really think about it, if you want the most credits, you'll allow them to progress through the map all the way to the throne room to have the longest game possible and hence get the most credits. Why this is the case, I am not sure, but it seems like a very stupid way to de-incentivize people from participating in objective-based gameplay and giving it their all. So that kind of goes back to the point of, well, since it takes so long to get credits and you're not really incentivized to do well, then I guess you could just buy them and then buy your loot boxes directly with your real money. So is Star Wars Battlefront pay to win? Yes, it is. Absolutely it is, because all you have to do is fork over a whole bunch of money. You can unlock a whole bunch of loot crates, which is the only way other people are going to get new guns and crafting materials. And then you could basically power through all of the items in the game to basically get ahead of everyone else. Now, some of you guys may be saying, well, the guns in the game might be just kind of lateral improvements over the rest of the guns. That may be true. However, if you take a look at the star cards for any given class, there are different tiers. You have your basic, I think it's bronze, silver, and gold. Obviously, gold star cards, if you look at the what's on offer with the gold star cards, they give you way more bonuses and way more cool shit than the traditional low tier star cards. So what does that mean? If you really want to get everything good and cool in the game, you could just fork over a lot of money. Now, this is the worst way to do business. This is a system that you would find in a free-to-play game, right? That would incentivize people to pay to win. Bust out their credit card, get all the stuff before everyone else does, and that's kind of justified, although not really, just because the game is free to play. Well, in Battlefront 2, the people who are going to succeed early are the people who are going to fork over the $60 and then, $50, $100, maybe $200 for loot boxes to get all of the golden star cards. Do we really want people within the first few weeks having access to every single progression item in the game just because they paid extra? Gunning people down with advanced guns, having all these advanced star cards that do all this cool stuff, while everyone else is just sitting, grinding the credits to open loot boxes to get the tiniest amount of crafting components, which, by the way, is about 10 to 20 per loot box. And if you want to craft a new gun, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and go into a class I don't play too much. Let's go into Officer. Let's say if I want to get the level 2 gun, the next gun up, 600 crafting components. This is not the items that you get and the rewards you get for completing a match. This is the crafting components within the loot boxes that you get by spending the credits that you earn at the end of each match. If you get 10 to 20 crafting components for every single loot box, divide that by 600 and then multiply that by the frequency at which you get the loot boxes, and you can see this gun might take me 20 hours to get if I'm just grinding away with the traditional gameplay versus Joe Blow over there with $100 busted out of his pocket, gets all these loot boxes, and then he gets this particular gun in a loot box, which, by the way, you can get guns in loot boxes. Not only that, in addition to the crafting components to make said guns. So, like I said, do we really want this system in here that's going to incentivize people to bust out their wallet and pay extra money? I don't think so. So that's strike one with the Battlefront 2 beta. Now on to the good stuff. So the Battlefront 2 beta is, I would say, a more refined and concentrated first-person or third-person experience for those who choose to play that. The guns feel really good, and I'm going to go into a map of Galactic Assault to kind of show off how I view the actual gameplay, because I do think there are a lot of improvements, especially the class system. So here is the great part about Star Wars Battlefront 2. The best thing in the game is how hero units and in-game points are used to unlock these different kinds of heroes here, flyer units, vehicles, and there's a bowcaster here, and there's also a jetpack clone. The best part about Star Wars Battlefront 2 is that in order to get points to unlock the hero units, you have to do good in a match, and you get those by killing units, more specifically doing the objective-based gameplay. This is how competitive games should be designed. If you do good, you should be able to have your cake and eat it too. And everyone else who is not doing well and is not getting the hero units, they will learn to appreciate the mechanics of the gameplay, playing the objective, grabbing the ion disruptor, shooting the MTI, doing all these things, doing all these things that they should be doing. And that's the only way that they're going to get these cool units. And that's a great way of teaching people of how they should be playing the game, which was a big problem in the original Battlefront. Everyone would just kind of do TDM style, just run out like Call of Duty and just try to kill everyone, because there was no incentive with the hero unit structure to actually play the objective-based gameplay. You're going to get more battle points depending on if you play certain things, such as the objectives. So if I'm in this proximity here, defending this throne room, not getting my ass kicked by Darth Maul, I'm going to get more battle points in proximity. So that's a great way to incentivize people to play the objective, because this is an objective-based game mode in Battlefront 2. And let's not kid ourselves, Battlefront was never a TDM-style game. So it's important to teach people to play the game properly. And the only way to do that is by incentivizing people to get in tandem with those systems. And this is a great way of doing it, the new battle system with the battle points. So thumbs up EA for designing a really kick-ass system. So right here, we just lost a game of Battlefront 2. Now the bad part for us is that we would have gotten more points and more, I should say more credits for being able to win the match. Here's the problem though when it comes to Battlefront 2. Do you see this guy right here? TK434, the guy who's just doing the most work. He's getting the same amount of credits as every single person on his team. I joined the game mid-match, so I'm going to get less credits than someone who was there from the get-go, but every single person that jumped in right away at the onset of the match is going to get the same credits, and that is just such a bad way to incentivize people to just be shitty at the game, right? It doesn't matter if you're good, it doesn't matter if you're bad. The only thing that's going to incentivize you to play well is the fact that you're dominating, but progression should be tied to your performance instead of the loot boxes. So that's my main issue with Battlefront 2. Now, the other thing I really like about the Battlefront 2 beta is that the space combat has been done by, I believe, Criterion instead of DICE, who did the ground combat. Now, the space combat in Battlefront 2 is incredible. It is so awesome, and the controls have been redesigned so that it allows you to be a little bit more skillful. Now I'm really bad when it comes to flying in any game, but what they've done is allowed you more maneuverability with the actual flying in Battlefront 2. And by the way, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So in Battlefront 2, you need to actually aim for this little white circle here. It feels very dogfighty in Battlefront 2 when you can actually get your hands and your head around the controls, which seem like they might be a little fussy at first. But trust me, when you get good at them, and I'm not good at them, you'll find that the Battlefront 2 Starfighter Assault and the spaceship controls are very rewarding. So my conclusion on Battlefront 2 is that the beta, which is probably going to be really representative of a large chunk of the game, is a great game. Okay, this game is really good, much better than Battlefront 1, or Battlefront EA as people like to call it. It's just a damn shame that everyone's incentivized to just fork over money for loot boxes, and I think that is really going to piss a lot of people off, and you're going to see review scores hammer this game for its progression systems. I guarantee it. I guess the dream would be that people embrace this game because it is a high quality game, and also fail to embrace the loot box system to send the EA a message of, you know, this is not okay. So that's Battlefront 2, the beta anyway. Great game, just a horrible bone system for its loot system and its progression. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in our next video. I'm going to play myself a little bit more Battlefront and get my ass blowed up a little bit more. All right, see you guys.